What's up, people? Back on another podcast on the Black Swan channel. We're going to be looking at Queen Chan's tweet. She's pretty much giving us the translation of what a Japanese article recently said about editors and what they look for if you are a manga artist on the online space. What do they look for? What do they look out for? And so on. So let's see what she says here. An article on what Japanese editors are looking for. Some choice quote picks from 34 editors, 90% who have scouted online. So, number one, market consciousness. This is what all the editors, well, the 34 editors mostly look for. Now, man, when you first read that part, market consciousness, with the context of what Torishima said in his book, what what went through your head?
I don't recall what Torishima said in his book. but
He
but go ahead.
said
What does he say?
he said an editor must understand or must find out if the manga artist they might sign has social awareness. Right?
Hmm.
Social
So
awareness. So
do you think market consciousness is the equivalent of social awareness? You think? I looked up
yeah,
I looked up market consciousness, and it says that does the project have sale ability? Um, that was kind of what the main theme of what
uh-huh.
market
Well, in the
consciousness.
grand context, using market per se, yeah. At the end of the day, it's an exchange. At the end of the day, the stories appeal to our social natures, and then at the same time, you got to be able to sell this thing. So,
Hmm.
if the that's the thing I despise about Queenie Chan. It's like, don't give us a list, woman. Just tell us what you think, your findings, your commentary on the thing, for goodness sake. So, if the editors are looking for what is marketable, right? They are pretty much asking, hey, manga artists, do you know what is marketable? Do you know what's selling? Do you know what's commercial? Do you know what's in demand?
Hmm.
Now, the problem with that is that if you look at what the global market is consuming, that does not mean it's what they are demanding,
Hmm.
right? People are consuming Invincible. But are they demanding Invincible? No. People are consuming Demon Slayer like a mug. But are they demanding it? No. Because it's generic, boring, shallow, and just meathead content, right? It's slop. So
Hmm.
if an editor, like we see it all the time in Jump, when there was a whole trend of in Jump they only want exorcist stories, nothing else. If you didn't bring an exorcist to the table, right, you got cut. And then all of a sudden that trend died out. I don't know what trend they are kind of following right now. They're flip flopping everywhere right now. There's a bit of more morbid type stories, but they're not making it somewhat of a trend. But I guess they are allowing it, if anything, like Chainsaw Man or Kagurabashi. So the problem with these editors is that their assessment of value is based on what people are consuming instead of what they're demanding.
But
And
but
mhm,
even if that's the case, the thing about manga is it's supposed to be like variety based, right? So you could have a manga that strictly focuses on documentary style, like I want to tell a historical view of this occurrence, which may not be so. I mean, maybe it's market conscious to a particular audience, but it's not market conscious to a broad range of people. So I
right.
guess when I say that is like, how do you, if market consciousness is one of the bullet points, um, I guess what lent, like, how do you, manga is so diverse, or I don't want to use that word, it has such a variety that, how do you really, I guess, is it so like, let's say we do documentaries, for example. Is it whatever is popular, whatever person is popular right now? Let's say Bill Clinton or Bill Gates, I mean, is popular right now. Is doing a documentary manga on Bill Gates the way to go because he's in the headlines, or is it because sometimes they even pick like the manga you did a review on was about a guy from the Roman or Greek days or whatever. Like,
Hmm.
how market conscious is that for them to publish something like that?
Exactly. Definitely not in the global sense. For me, this context just rings a bell in my head as to like, I think they're trying to appeal to the market, I mean, to the global market conscious. Because if they were just, you know, fixated on the particular genre that they want to enter into, seinen or historical epic or whatnot, that's different, right? So this, in a way, is very vague, and it just automatically makes me think that no, this is in the context of the global market per se. At the end of the day, most editors now are trying to jump into the global pie because the Japanese pie is falling apart. The Japanese kids are not reading manga like that no more because it's either not expensive, but because of the digital stuff, them kids don't have access because they don't have money for digital subscriptions, So they're jumping into the
That
global
that
pie,
that or the parents are allowing the internet to raise their kids.
and most
Like,
of them don't want to pay for things. Them kids online.
mm, mm,
Okay. Point number two: unique style and storytelling skills. Expressive characters are very important. What does that mean?
I mean, I feel like,
Especially,
well, my bad. I feel like that kind of goes without saying, right? Like, anytime you're making a creative manga or something, it's not like you're following a general script and it's just everything is basic. Like you have to get creative. Like that's the whole space of like art, right? But
oh, of course, but where
what
I
what were
got
you thinking?
confused is storytelling skills. I mean, that is so insanely obvious, but for me at least, it makes it sound like there's layers to this. And it also feels vague. What do you mean storytelling skills?
Mm,
Like
okay.
storytelling is a skill on its own. So when you put a plural on it, I'm like, what are you talking about? You
Mm,
know, it's kind of confusing, and that's the issue with all of this. These companies starting manga contests, creating dungeons, using confusing language, manga storytelling skills, diversity, as Boichi puts it, the UN involvement in production. Bruh, it's confusing. Because which one's which? You know?
mm. Like you said,
Uh,
storytelling skills with a plural. I see what you mean, but I'm guessing when I think of storytelling, it reminds me of like something like the allegory of the cave, right? Where uh, I don't really recall the entire story, but it's like the story starts off one way and it unexpectedly ends at an unexpected endpoint.
Basically, I would say a story is a sequence of events placed
Mm,
in a narrative that has a beginning, middle, and end. That's it.
mm,
That is honestly it. So the this thing is vague. It's jacked. It's confusing. Mother effer is illiterate. Who wrote this? It's like, yo, what are you saying? It doesn't make any sense, right?
I guess it kind of just feels like it's something that's like if you're getting into the art space, it's something that you should pretty much already know. It's like when you get into famous writers, like yeah, when they write, the writing is impactful or like it keeps you hooked, that and story like that type of stuff. I mean, that's to me that seems like that would just be natural in the art space. Like I don't even
They
see
should
why
have.
that would. Mm.
She should have put unique style and interesting hook of story, something like that.
Mm,
That
mm,
was better.
mm. I agree. Mm,
Oh well. Number three, consistency in posting is important. Editors want to see you can post regularly and to completion of work. Okay. On what? Social media? Okay, online. So posting what specifically? Imagine you're posting your manga every single month in the void that is Twitter, right? And the
mm,
context of this is based in Japan, right? An article on what Japanese editors are looking for, she says.
Mm,
So somebody in the West who's probably got 3, 4 jobs, right, or is being crushed by other responsibilities, it's not the same, right? You
mm,
can't really just sit and do manga all day long, right? And just
mm,
post on the internet with no return of investment. Like people in the West, we are very much so return of investment heavy. Like all these new sissy boys that are in the basement who don't mind rotting and posting forever, well, they barely finish their stuff anyway. So
mm,
even they burn out because they deny their inherited nature of a return of investment is important, right?
mm, mm. I,
So
I,
it's weird.
I had looked this up also because I was like, what do they mean by that? Are they talking about social media posting? But when I looked it up, it said also the ability to meet deadlines, the ability to finish a story, and just basically stuff like that. Like basically your like responsiveness and responsibility in regards to keeping those things in order. I'm guessing, but
But how would
consistency
they
in posting.
know? How would they know you meet your deadlines unless there's a referral that you worked for this guy
That's
and you
true.
met the deadlines and you did like 2 books for him? Bruh, let's face it, 99% of dudes. I mean, look at if we were to compare Brandon Chen, he's somebody who's got multiple stories, probably AI enhanced or AI written and whatnot. He's got multiple stories. Are they all finished though? No. Most of them are one shots, and they
Mm,
not manga. Most of them are webtoons. He calls himself a shonen mangaka, a lying bastard. But you see, so in other words, a liar like Brandon Chen, is he applicable to this criteria here? Not really. If you look at the fact, he's a webtoons guy. If we look at Rafal Jockey, he met his deadlines, but he only has one story, and he's been like under a bridge ever since, right? If we look
mm,
at Queenie Chan herself, she has one story that she made 20 years ago that has 3 or 4 books. That's one
mm,
story, lady, that's not finished. Unless you did say that, nah, it's meant to be 5 books. Well, that's not impressive, especially from the Japanese angle, right?
mm,
So
mm,
everybody automatically then fails and loses. If we look at white manga, 15 years, 5 books. The sixth one, he needs $30,000 for niggas to give him so he can create it.
mm.
Like, what the heck are we doing? If they were to look at me, somebody who said, this is when the book comes out and it actually does, will they actually do their homework to assess when I made the announcement of when the book is coming and if it came on the date or not? They would never do that. If they did, they'd realize that this nigga finished before the deadline. But are they gonna give me a bag? No.
It seems like the biggest problem here is what you said at the beginning, which is these things are just not clear. Like there's not a clear like bullet point system saying like these are like the expectations or this is what we want. It's kind of just like basically it's just I mean the basic saying is just basically they should just say, oh, it's up to our discretion and then leave it there. You know what I mean? And then be done with it.
Exactly. So it's purposely vague to throw people off, to do what I've always been saying, to burn y'all out. You know, this is a dungeon. This is dungeon language, right? In a way, it's kind of gaslighting you because he's scratching your head, and there's no real answer, right? And I'm sure other people will laugh at you for no reason. Oh, you don't get it, but they don't get it either. But anyway, number 4, online personality profile across social media will be evaluated to see if the artist presents themselves professionally. Negativity online is a red flag. Like, look at Queenie Chan herself. Her profile is clean and smooth as butter. But what's going on with her? If it wasn't for that family business she got, she'd be broke, be under a bridge. So, 20 plus years working in the manga thing, um, throwing all kinds of one shots to Viz Media, to Kodansha, to whatever, right? And her skill is pretty good. I would say she's B rank. Uh, she's still nowhere. What she calls herself a manga artist, she is not professionally rewarded in the way she would like to be for being a manga artist. The fact that she translates uh what the Japanese are saying in their articles or tweets using Grok or Google Translate, who knows? It's like you are really out here just regurgitating. You're not actually showing that you have a personality, right? Funny enough, online personality. This is not. That's the thing. If people want to be safe, it means you don't have a personality. It means you're just a whitewashed tombstone like Queenie Chan, or you a wooden plank, right? That's the
Mm.
safest you can get. So the companies are not looking for that. They're not looking somebody combative like me. So are they looking for someone like Red? Remember Red, who went to
Mm.
Japan in Shonen Jump, who got a business card and he celebrated as if he got a bag?
Yeah,
That's
I
who
saw
they
that.
want. They want
So,
a nigga
my bad.
to just celebrate.
So I looked
Mhm.
it up, and they were basically saying it's basically like professionalism, stability, whether you're difficult to work with, and public behavior. So, I mean, I guess it's similar to like, which I don't agree with about jobs evaluating your social media accounts, because I think that's kind of like a private thing. It's like your private ideas and private life should be separate from the work that you do. Because then it's like you basically want to have influence
Control.
or control over how I think, which is
Exactly.
not
And that
important, right? What is important is what I produce.
exactly. They want to sanitize you, make you a zombie creator. Basically, they are looking for agents to be hired in a giant manga sweatshop where your personality will be just deleted. They want to see if you know your rights, you know your self worth or not, right? Because
Mm.
anyone with integrity is not going to slave away for just a bag of sweets and that's it. Where the real bread that is supposed to fill your stomach is that I'm working for a popular company, but you're malnourished and dying, right?
Mm. And then also, you have people who grow up in varying environments. You know, you got people. I was watching a trauma ER type thing where there were like gunshot wounds and stuff like that, like people getting brought into the hospital for gunshot wounds. And I was thinking to myself, how would these people, like their social media posts, are they just supposed to be clean and clear and put together when they're living in an environment like this? Like when they see certain people acting a certain way, they're supposed to have a professional presence. You know what I mean? When
Mhm.
people live troubled lives, there's things that are happening out there that are causing conflict in people's lives, and they're actually meaningful. It's meaningful to people to say things at times. So not stepping on toes or uh, you know. It's basically kind of also what it kind of waters down people's experiences. You know what I mean? Like you, you're gonna water down somebody's experience who's been like suffering. Like this motherfucker's getting whipped and beaten, and you want him to say, "Oh, yeah, things are great, and I welcome an opportunity. Thank you very much." What the fuck? What the
Yep.
fuck, man? Mm.
Yep. That's that actually just makes me realize that yeah, from the Japanese perspective, they really want somebody like a damn wooden plank because that's how they are, which is why they've had suicide force for so long, right? Why
Mm.
it's still there, why even a couple can jump off a building together because this expectation to neglect what you feel on the inside, you know, leads to self deletion. It leads to mass murder. It leads to all kinds of toxicity and whatnot. And they believe, I suppose, that people outside of Japan need to be wooden planks also. This is crazy, but looks like the West has also taken that model as to, you know what? It'd be better to have a wooden plank, right? They're not gonna talk too much, they're not gonna express themselves, they're just gonna sit down and take it. We can give them a lot of pills, to calm down. What's that one pill bottle called that give kids? Ritalin, I think.
Mm.
Yeah. So they want some Ritalin, Xanax, zombie workers, bro. That you'll only express yourself within the pages, but it's like, nah, that that that's not the entirety of human expression. A human must burst out in laughter or tears. They must exhibit some form of passion, blah blah blah. They don't want that. They
Yeah,
want
like what?
robots.
Like what? Vincent Van Gogh cut his fucking ear off, right? And gave
You
it to
see,
someone.
you see, bro, they want us to damn blow our damn ears off, and then maybe they'll listen. But did they listen when the nigga cut his ear off? No. Only when you're dead, it's like, oh, he was so good and great. We should have listened to him. Poor guy.
So,
Yeah.
so what they said negative posts, or why they said negative posts are a red flag, because they were saying it's less about morality and more about risk management. And it says from their perspective, a controversial creator can hurt a brand, drama can derail projects, and mess with publishers' long-term investments. So I could kind of see some of those aspects playing a part of it, but I think there's like degrees to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and at the end of the day now, our modern culture thrives on drama. Nothing sells without heat. Nothing matters without heat. Trump, he to stay relevant, he needs to orchestrate dudes with guns blowing his ear off, but the ear's still fine as if nothing happened. He had to orchestrate another crazy Californian liberal trying to, blow people up at the dinner. Like, this is all drama, right? You can say that's politics. Okay, so Japanese companies don't do PR stunts. These Japanese contests are PR stunts, all of them, right? There was a PR stunt of Kadokawa designed to stimulate the consumers of light novels, but they appealed to creators of light novels. How is that going to stimulate the consumer market, right?
Mm.
Because you believe the Western light novel writers could somehow gather up their followers to participate in the Japanese market. No, light novel consumers consume light novels, right?
Mm.
And it doesn't matter if they're the West or wherever, you just need to appeal to them. It's a side, it's a PR event. They also thrive on a bit of negativity. Kodansha
Mm.
just allowed AI to be used as part of their rules, right? In the new contest. So that's negative. That's bogus, bro. They know
Mm.
that this backlash, in a way, is going to give some form of attention. It's going to keep us relevant. Now there's a fight for relevance. I think book sales alone, even if it's pretty good, I don't know, it feels like it's not good enough for these people. They want they want to feel seen. So they then do these PR stunts.
Mm. Mm. And they have their own little PR stunts and like the news and stuff like that. They hype stuff up in the Japanese news to get people going, and they have the same thing over there, but their society is a lot more orderly and tame. And I think that like for us, like, or just you live in the West, I live in the West. Like right now in the West, we live in a constant state of chaos, bro. Whether it's like the person next to you driving down the highway, everybody's driving hella erratic. Nobody has any manners to like let a person go, or don't hold the door for a person, or all these like little things that like basically it's chaos all the time, constantly, and then chaos and madness. So when it comes to your posts on social media, you say, "Oh, like things are great. I went out today. I had a great day. I had some tea and some coffee and some biscuits." And in that case, it's like you literally have to be a sociopath to think the current state of the world is acceptable.
Exactly. If you see nothing wrong with it, or you want to call it a hypothetical, then you are a sociopath.
And,
Like
and then how
somebody
do you,
who,
and then how do you write a story if you're basically a sociopath that doesn't? It's like you're just gonna write about flowers and candy and cakes and like you're living in a burning building.
well, this is exactly why the stories suck right now, bro. Like
Mm.
all the bull crap plot lines in Invincible, in The Boys, in Everything being produced by Hollywood right now, it's jacked because a bunch of sociopaths are writing it. That's why it's not inspiring. People, there's more catharsis and relief in complaining about how bad something is. It's like, why are you watching it then? Because it's the only thing they can watch, right? It's the
Mm,
only thing we can watch. We got people who don't love what they watch. The love of watching something has died. If somebody truly loves something, they watch it alone in private in their man cave. The whole season one DVD of Dragon Ball, right? Undisturbed. But something
mm,
that is trending and new, it's like you have to watch it and engage in the public space and make it the cultural norm that now you're all going to scream. And you know what this reminds me of? The George Orwell 1984 situation where
mm.
all the characters there were looking at a screen of a man talking and they were all screaming at the man because that society was heavy duty surveillance, totalitarian. Human expression was not really allowed except for when you express rage towards a puppet enemy. So now we have plenty of puppet enemies, right? All kinds, and they can be dressed up in rosy superhero theme like Invincible, but it's garbage. You watch it and it triggers you in a way. You might not be able to explain the trigger, but you lash out. You come to Twitter and say, "Fuck this," blah 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 blah. Why are you watching it? There was nothing else. Just like those people in the 1984 movie, why are you watching it? There was nothing else. It was culture that we're all gonna go in this cinema. We will watch the guy who makes us pissed off, and we're all gonna yell.
Mm, mm,
It is not.
And so, in regards to like stuff being negative or red line and stuff like that, if I'm just going to use my own evaluation, I would say that, let's say for instance, Manga Plus, the way Manga Plus has been run, it would be the truth, and it would be uh, I don't view it as negative to point out that it's a poorly run website, Manga Plus creators. But in the case of the companies, they would look at me as, oh, he's a problem or he's negative because he's pointing out this way this fucking company is running their website. They're taking people's work down. They're not allowing people to post. They're giving fake views or whatever. But for me to bring that up, that's viewed as negative, and that could put a blemish on my record. So they would rather the person who wouldn't bring that up, right? And who would
You
just
see,
accept it. Hmm.
exactly. And the one who just sits down and take it, they don't respect them because they were like, we have thousands of you, you sheep, you robots, you NPCs. Why do we need to take your stuff? You're already following the rules, right? Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Hmm.
So there just is no winning out here through these establishments.
And
You
if
know,
that's the case, they should be specific. Don't be vague. And that's the problem. Be specific. Say, make a bullet point list of the do's and the don'ts for your public image. Don't talk about political topics. Don't talk about this. Don't discuss this on your social media. Don't do this. Don't do that. But they don't want to do that because they don't want to seem totalitarian. So they expect you to use totalitarian traits to monitor yourself.
exactly. So they can demonize you. It's
That's
nuts,
crazy,
bro.
man.
It's nuts. It's a legendary psyop that they've created here. But okay, let's go to point number 5. Clear introduction to themselves and their working profile. Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. So we have a quote from one of the editors who says, a major deciding factor is whether the work is original yet market conscious. When searching online, I can also see reader feedback, which allows for more multifaceted evaluation. This is the worst type of evaluation because if you have glazers who are just rubbing up with all kinds of butter, cocoa butter, Vaseline on a poor, piss poor product, bro, is the editor gonna be like, huh, I think they like it very much. Let's publish it. If there's a lot of engagement in general on that post, does it mean there's value? Right?
Mm.
What the hell does it mean to be original yet market conscious? How can you actually be original, but you need to you need to abide by the market conscious global standard, which is totally jacked. That means you can't be original. Invincible's parts of its originality is gone now because Kirkman decided to rewrite things DEI style. Originality's gone, you see.
Mm, I
So
mean,
it doesn't make
yep.
any sense.
So they're basically telling you to get like hive minded, like figure out what the hive, be conscious of what the hive wants, and I'm kind of my
Hmm.
bad. I was a little bit confused.
No, basically that's exactly it. Find out, be original with how you produce hive-minded slop. Basically,
To
how do you
me,
do
it's
it?
crazy because I know the thing about it is like I know that it's not gonna work. I mean, you might have a couple people who come up with some good stuff, just happen to be really creative and you know don't have really. But the thing about it is like the reason that people have things to say is because of their experience. Like when you think of like philosophers like Carl Jung or um, any of these different, like Carl Jung had a quote. What did he say? He said, "The pain of isolation was preferable to the mediocrity of adaptation."
Ooh la la. That's
So it's
right.
like so to be in the state of like not in the hive mind will allow you to start developing different thoughts and theories about life and what you see around you compared to the people who are just joined, because the people who are joining a hive mind, they're all going to say the same thing. You're not going to get
Exactly.
anything else. Mm.
Keep you mediocre and keep you a hunchback, you know. And that's the thing, they don't get it, bro. But that's the scary thing about humanity. A lot of people really just don't have that consciousness, bro. I don't want to make it sound like that woke. I'm woke and conscious and awake, bro. None of that garbage. Where you gotta be on psychedelics. Just having proper self-awareness and see that there is a difference between an individual free thinker and a hive-minded Neanderthal. We're surrounded by them, and now they control the establishments. They now gatekeep everything because if Kirkman, is the guy who he is, he made Walking Dead. He has a lot of power. Why decide to DEIify your original story to fit the global market? Why? That you see, in his case, he had something original, but then had to crowbar garbage into it to make it market conscious. This market consciousness is actually a soft euphemism for the new religion of the world, at least of the West, right? That's what it is. The new Trinity. That's what it is, bruh. This is totally jacked up. There is no way it can feel original. Just because you drew the characters differently, the style's different, if what they say and what they do and what they promote is the same DI playbook, it's the same thing. It's not original anymore.
Mm.
So even this language, it's got a micro gaslighting effect to it.
And it's hella
And,
boring. Like the thing about like even the Robert Kirkman thing, right? Isn't he like the only person in? Didn't he take over? He has like one company. I forgot the name of it, but he's like the only person who produces things that actually fire, right? Like there's no one else. There's no other
yeah,
brands or
from the
anything.
Image Comics team who let's say new gen Image Comics team, yeah, it's only him. There's nobody else.
Yeah. So to me, that shows that it's you like what you're doing is not great. Like if you can only get your productions out there to get people to buy, that's not good, dude. Like
No.
and that's as far as it goes. It's just like you get the accolades, you get the glory, but there's so many things out there you can't find. Like you telling me that you can't pick good stuff. So I just don't get. To me, it just doesn't make sense
No,
at
it's
all.
scary. Being at the store today, at the bookstore, some girls came in to look for manga, right? They were standing there, uh, going on their knees, looking through the whole shelf, right? And bro, they did not see. any other manga except the one they were looking for. Now, I don't know which one they were looking for, but the fact is, the variety there, the new stuff, my stuff, this new cool Chinese manga based on this movie, it's really cool. They didn't look at it. Sailor Moon was there. They didn't look at it. They were looking for what was implanted in their head. I don't know what it was because they ended up leaving and not taking anything or touching anything. But they were looking for something. It was as if every other product on that shelf was invisible, right?
Mm.
And that goes to what I was saying, that the global market consumers are people who consume things based on what they're told, based on the trends, and so on. Kirkman, his stuff is being consumed right now because, one, I suppose it's the only thing entertaining enough right now because of all the gore, the animation. But at the same time, they pretty much got told that this is what you're going to consume. This is what matters right now. Everything else doesn't matter right now. When Demon Slayer, the movie, came out last year, people were looking for more Demon Slayer stuff, right?
Mm.
They were looking for it. Season 2 of JJK, people were looking for JJK material. Season 3 came out a couple of months ago. There were less people looking for JJK manga. I think the psychedelic directing of the new season, where there's these neon colors and it's sporadic and it's just jacked. It doesn't feel like anime. It feels like a music video. I think a lot of people decided to be like, you know what? I'm not too sure, because massive, there wasn't a massive positive outlook on the new season in general. So
Mm.
because most people were saying, it's not all that, and the ending as well was a huge disappointment, and there's the spin-off and it's about coexistence. I don't know. But they consumed it anyway, right? Just not to the same high degree, but they did consume it anyway.
It's interesting when about those girls, the little girls you were talking about, because I remember being maybe I don't remember 1 to 3 to 5 years old. Ninja Turtles that came out, right? And I would like go by the store and they had like these shoes, and like they had these stores called Payless shoe stores, or like a off-brand shoe store, and like you get like cheap shoes and stuff. And I used to see like these Ninja Turtle shoes. I'm like, oh yeah, I want those. And I was a kid, and my mom was like, no, you don't want those ones. She's like, get. And she's like, no. I was like, yeah, I was insistent on getting these Ninja Turtle shoes. But I'm like
Mhm.
0 to 5 years, 1 to 5 years old or something like that. But as I got a little bit older, like my cousin, he would kind of do the same thing. Like we go to a store, he see like Superman or Spider Man that he watched on television, and he'd want to get those toys. But me, as I got older, a little bit older, maybe like 6, 7, 8, whatever, um, I would see when I go into the toy store, I wouldn't specifically go for those particular toys. I would look to see what they had, and that's how I got introduced to like Spawn. I had never saw Spawn on television. I had never saw Spawn anywhere, but I was just so infatuated with the design of the toys. It was so much different than all the other toys there that I purchased those toys, which means that I was more open. Where my cousin, he wasn't. I don't think he was into Spawn like that. Spawn didn't capture him. He still went for like the Superman, Goku, or I don't know if Goku was around the time here, but he would go for these ones that he would see on television, where I was a little bit, you know, into, I guess, exploring other things. Like it caught my eye. So maybe it's
And
just
there we
a
go.
hmm, go ahead.
That is a fundamental difference then, as to like most consumers are just normies who consume based on what the TV deemed popular. That feeling of I want to explore, I want to look. Most people don't have that. I mean, how are you gonna be there for like 5 minutes, not pick anything else up? Ay, 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 bro. So that's
Mm,
the situation, the reality that we're all in. There's no such thing as mass appeal, because that is so DEI adjacent. The whole thing of like massive social appeal, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. If something is deemed to be having massive social appeal, it's because it was conditioned it to be that way, right? Because if we say Dragon Ball as well, massive social appeal, okay, but who actually took the principles of that show, of that series? Who actually isn't a hunchback? There's a lot of DBZ fans are hunchback losers who want the next transformation, screaming and throwing popcorn in the air, and who are like 8,000 pounds. It's like, bro, decency, the decency of character, do you even have that? No. So that means it was a social phenomenon because, fine, it was the first of its kind. But when you actually start assessing the fandom and you assess those who actually learn something from it, it's a gigantic minority. The others, they didn't actually learn anything. They were just consuming. They wanted to be part of the hive. They all wanted to power up as well to look cool at school. And that's about it. It wasn't authentic.
Mm.
So here we are.
And most likely the companies probably know this, so their whole thing is maybe what they're asking for is semi-direct, where they know this about people, and they basically need people to just basically capture that market that you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
they do. They definitely know. Like the way the food aisles are designed, it's on purpose, bro. Like sometimes let's say you have an aisle of, peanut butter and jam, like the spreads on this aisle. Now, usually, if you have peanut butter spreads and whatnot, right opposite it on the same aisle, you should have your sauces, right? Your butter and whatnot. I mean, not butter, your barbecue sauce or tomato sauce. No, they're going to put that thing 2 aisles down the line because that's on purpose. They want you to go look at other things you might buy, right? They're messing with your psychology because it's like, come on, sauce and your butter and your jam and your jelly, that's nearly the same, not the same taste and whatnot, but you get what I mean. Like
I, I,
it can be on
I
the
would
same shelf.
I would think they put the bread right behind there, so you can just go fucking buy your jelly and your bread right
Yeah, but
together.
it's kind of right there. It's on the other side of town. Bro.
Oh, mm.
Exactly. So social manipulation at an all-time high. But you know what? Let's pause the podcast here as a part one because there's still a lot left from this tweet.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. So like, subscribe, people, and tell us what you think about this Queenie Chan situation.